Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back to another Sims 4 video on this channel. Today we're building a Swedish cottage in a winter setting. So as you guys can see, this is a diagonal build which I like to do from time to time because these look better on the gallery and I think they're also a bit more interesting. However, they're also much harder to furnish because the dimensions are really odd and you can't place diagonal stairs or ladders, which is really unfortunate, so I had to work around this problem also in this build here. So this time I wanted to use some very traditional colors. I think the color the Swedes use for most of their cottages is red, very specific red if I remember correctly. It's called Falu red. If any people from Sweden are watching this, please feel free to correct me at any point if I say something incorrect. I would also appreciate your feedback on how accurate this house is because I've really put a lot of effort into making this look authentic, at least in my opinion. I mean, I've been to Sweden several times and I've seen similar houses to this one, but maybe there are some features that are just not correct, so let me know in the comments below. So at this point I was looking for the right shade of red, of course, because we're building a red wooden cottage, and therefore I also used wooden siding, of course. And this one here from Island Living is probably the best one because it looks a bit weathered. It's not that uniform and a bit more realistic, so I like to use it a lot. It has also some very nice swatches, so you get two different ones with Island Living. This one here is the one that's a bit more colorful, so there's different types of blue and yellow, orange and red, of course. And there's a more natural neutral one, which is just different wood tones, which is also very nice for more rustic builds. So for this video I decided to build without much snow just because it's a bit easier to see what color things are, the structure, the pattern. For example, the roofs here, it's really hard if there's a lot of snow there, so I prefer building like this. But of course, at the end of the video, when we showcase the finished build, there's of course snow because, as I said before, I want to build this in a winter setting since Christmas is approaching, since the holidays are approaching rapidly. And my goal here was to build a house that is extra cozy, so we have a very warm, nice interior with a fireplace, a nice sofa, lots of blankets, stuff like that, lots of plants of course as well, and huge windows because I want to see the snow falling. So as I said before, I've been to Sweden several times, but never in winter. The last time I went, it was actually in October, so pretty off season. And because Sweden is so far up north, you have these very early sunsets. When I was there in October, the sun was like setting at 5 p.m. But now in December, I think it's much earlier, like before 3 p.m. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that's about right. So as I said before, we went there in like late October and we expected it to be very cold. So of course we had jackets, but to be honest, during the day it wasn't too bad. So we did a lot of walking there, sightseeing. And what I really like about Sweden is how friendly people are and how well structured certain things are. For example, when we arrived at the airport, we looked a bit lost, so we didn't know where to go. And there was this older man who came over and offered to help us. He asked where we wanted to go, if we were tourists, and if we needed help. And then there was another man who came over and offered help, and they were basically arguing who was allowed to help us. So very friendly people. We also went to this restaurant because we wanted to dine out for my girlfriend's birthday, which I think was also the reason why we went to Sweden. It was our first big trip together and it was a bit of a nicer restaurant, so we decided to go there because they offered what I would consider traditional Swedish cuisine and I wanted to eat authentic meatballs. So we decided to go there and we basically had not much cash, like a few hundred crowns and two cards, of which one didn't work and the other one worked with some of the ATMs, but we never tried to use it in a shop, so we always had cash on us, so we didn't know about this. And we were sitting in the restaurant. It was a very nice evening. We had a great time, great food, great atmosphere. The waiters were just excellent. So really a nice evening, perfect birthday. And when it was time to pay, I noticed that I didn't have enough cash, so I wanted to pay with my card. And the two waiters told me that this card doesn't work in restaurants or shops, so we basically couldn't pay with the card and we didn't have enough cash, and we were really shocked. So it was really an awkward situation and the waiters were like, well, but you need money. And we were like, yeah, we know to pay. And they were like, no, because you need food and drinks. It was so nice of them. I still think about it from time to time. And even though it wasn't much money, they paid it from their own tips, just so that we wouldn't get in trouble. And it still baffles me that they were concerned for us, because they told us you're gonna be here for a few more days and you need to eat, you need to drink, you need money for sightseeing. And unfortunately we didn't have time to get back to the restaurant. We even missed a flight back, which was the first time I missed a plane, and it was just so stupid and expensive. And I hate flying, by the way. I think it's so stressful. I just hate it. Let me know in the comments below what you think about flying. I'd rather go to Sweden by train like my grandparents did. It takes you 2 days, but I think it's less stressful. Anyway, long story short, if I ever get back to Sweden, I'll make sure to give those guys a nice big tip if they still work there. I can't remember their names or what they look like, but maybe they still work there and I recognize them. Anyway, guys, let's go back to the build now, because I started working on the interior like 3 minutes ago, and as you can see, the color scheme here is a bit of white with a bit of black, and I wanted to use furniture that resembles Scandinavian design, which is pretty distinct. I would say it's one of my favorite styles for houses. That's also one of the reasons why I love IKEA so much. I know the people in the US seem to hate it for some reason, but here it's great. I know some of the furniture is pretty cheap, but personally I really like the aesthetic of IKEA products. Not all, most, and I like to go there for the experience. I don't know if I'm the only one here. People from Europe, let me know. People from the US, let me know. People from the rest of the world, let me know. Anyway, that's also the reason why I tried to build something that looks a bit like an IKEA house. I feel like these chairs here look very IKEA in my opinion. Of course, for the extra coziness factor, we also have a fireplace here and some books here. I also like this lamp here, which is from Tiny Living, I think, which looks also very Scandinavian. I don't know why we don't have like a Scandinavian style pack or like an IKEA pack, because these styles are very common and very popular among builders and players alike. So I think releasing a pack like that would be really appreciated by the community. I'm not sure about that. And if I remember correctly, there was actually an official Sims 2 IKEA pack which tried to mimic Scandinavian style, the products that are or were available at the time at IKEA. So I don't know why they didn't do that for Sims 3. Again, correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't know if there was a Sims 3 IKEA pack. It would take me like 2 seconds to Google, but I'm recording here. Anyway, I would really appreciate it if they could do it for Sims 4, because I have to pick all these different items from different packs that look Scandinavian to me at least. So I'm not sure what you guys think of the interior here, so leave a comment below. I always appreciate your input. Also, if you think this house is just not good, let me know. If you hate this house, let me know. If you just declared this house to be your nemesis, just let me know in the comments. I'm sorry guys, but really, let me know what you think about it. So as you guys can see, we have a separate room here for our toilet, and the bathroom is pretty small, so I was glad I had this kind of awkwardly shaped small room here, which is due to the placement of the ladder. So because we have a second floor here, this was basically the only place I could put the ladder. And the problem here is, as I said at the start of the video, this is a diagonal build, and the main problem with diagonal builds is that ladders and staircases can't be placed diagonally. I wonder if they will ever fix that, because it doesn't seem too much of a hassle to fix, but until now we didn't get a fix for it. So I tend to use ladders just because for smaller builds like this one, at least, because there's not enough space. And I tried to include a staircase, but the house got way too big and it looked really awkward, so I deleted it and I placed this ladder here. I know I complain a lot about this issue also in my other videos, but I do a lot of diagonal building and it's a bit annoying at this point. So as you guys can see, the second floor is basically just one big room. which is not that big actually. But I managed to include a double bed here, so this house is actually meant for 2 Sims, and for some additional realism also included some of these coat racks here and the small workspace, which you can see on the right hand side. So you guys might have noticed that I talked a little bit less about the build itself and included some more or less interesting personal stories. I'm not sure if you guys enjoy that or if you're here just to hear a bit more about the build, but I think I'm gonna do that from time to time from now on if people enjoy it. I might also include some facts about certain types of buildings. I'm not sure about that, but somebody mentioned it to me a while ago and I wanted to try it out at some point. So now we're almost at the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you're celebrating. Don't forget to leave me a like as an early Christmas present and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, and now here's the finished build. See you guys next time.